As the tributes stand on the podiums, the horn sounds. Victor runs away from the cornucopia. Mariana runs away from the cornucopia. Kelly runs away from the cornucopia. Bella runs away from the cornucopia. Mr. Noodle runs away from the cornucopia. Mitchell shoots an arrow at Leeway, but misses and kills Andre Boo Boo instead. Isabella runs away from the cornucopia. Moo Moo and Alexis fight for a bag. Alexis gives up and retreats. Frying Pan snatches a bottle of alcohol and a rag. Christopher runs into the cornucopia and hides. Eric runs away from the cornucopia. Megoons finds a canteen full of water. The fraud runs away from the cornucopia. Bibian runs away from the cornucopia. Arlette runs away from the cornucopia. Matashi grabs a shield leaning on the cornucopia. Samantha runs away from the cornucopia. The Hawk runs away from the cornucopia. Matu runs away from the cornucopia. Sharpie runs away from the cornucopia. Alexandra finds a bag full of explosives. Day 1. Megoons goes hunting. Isabella and Bibian hunt for other tributes. Frying Pan receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Alexis makes a wooden spear. Moo Moo discovers a river. Matu attacks Matashi, but Victor protects him, killing Matu. Sharpie attacks Leeway, but he manages to escape. The fraud steals from Arlette while she isn't looking. Alexandra receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Bella overhears Mariana and Kelly talking in the distance. Mr. Noodle tries to sleep through the entire day. Mitchell overhears Eric and the Hawk talking in the distance. Christopher attacks Samantha, but she manages to escape. Dead peeps. 2 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Andre Boo Boo. District 2. Matu. District 7. Night 1. Victor, Mariana, and Bibian sleep in shifts. Christopher convinces Bella to snuggle with him. The fraud thinks about home. Isabella is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Matashi passes out from exhaustion. Mitchell kills Kelly for her supplies. Alexis passes out from exhaustion. Samantha cooks her food before putting her fire out. Moo Moo goes to sleep. Arlette receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Frying Pan looks at the night sky. Eric, Megoons, and Sharpie discuss the games and what might happen in the morning. Mr. Noodle is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Leeway receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. The Hawk climbs a tree to rest. Alexandra loses sight of where she is. Day 2. Alexis scares Arlette off. Moo Moo sees smoke rising in the distance but decides not to investigate. Christopher is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Bibian hunts for other tributes. Sharpie, Mr. Noodle, and Victor hunt for other tributes. The fraud steals from Isabella while she isn't looking. Megoons tends to the Hawk's wounds. Leeway makes a slingshot. Frying Pan, Mitchell, and Bella hunt for other tributes. Mariana and Eric hunt for other tributes. Matashi tends to Alexandra's wounds. Samantha travels to higher ground. MLG no-scoped. 1 cannon shot can be heard in the distance. Kelly. District 11. Night 2. The Hawk loses sight of where he is. Mitchell receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Megoon stays awake all night. Samantha quietly hums. Moo Moo and Eric sleep in shifts. Christopher sets up camp for the night. Alexis stabs Mr. Noodle in the back with a trident. Matashi screams for help. Frying Pan throws a knife into the fraud's chest. Sharpie attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Bella receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Arlette's trap kills Bibian. Isabella tries to sing herself to sleep. Mariana receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Alexandra begs for Leeway to kill her. He refuses, keeping Alexandra alive. Victor quietly hums. Day 3. Megoons explores the arena. Alexis pushes Frying Pan off a cliff during a knife fight. The Hawk camouflages himself in the bushes. Moo Moo practices his archery. Sharpie discovers a cave. Mariana receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Matashi receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Samantha discovers a river. Bella overhears Li Wei and Christopher talking in the distance. Alexandra camouflages herself in the bushes. Mitchell hunts for other tributes. Arlette discovers a cave. Victor diverts Isabella's attention and runs away. Eric receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. LOL 3. 4 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Mr. Noodle. District 2. The Fraud. District 4. Bibian. District 5. Frying Pan. District 8. Night 3. Samantha stays awake all night. Christopher, Isabella, Arlette, Victor, and Bella track down and kill Moo Moo. Eric receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. The Hawk receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Alexis tries to treat her infection. Megoons tries to treat her infection. Mitchell and Mariana talk about the tributes still alive. Li Wei, Sharpie, and Matashi discuss the games and what might happen in the morning. Alexandra quietly hums. Day 4. Bella collects fruit from a tree. Eric chases Samantha. The Hawk sees smoke rising in the distance but decides not to investigate. Megoons and Li Wei fight Matashi and Mariana. Matashi and Mariana survive. Arlette tries to spear fish with a trident. Alexis discovers a river. Isabella diverts Christopher's attention and runs away. Sharpie attacks Victor, but he manages to escape. Alexandra collects fruit from a tree. Mitchell explores the arena. RIP 4. 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Moo Moo. District 3. Megoons. District 10. Li Wei. District 9. Night 4. Alexis destroys Alexandra's supplies while she is asleep. Matashi tries to treat his infection. Arlette lets Victor into her shelter. Christopher and Isabella talk about the tributes still alive. The Hawk receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Sharpie receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Bella cries herself to sleep. Samantha kills Eric with his own weapon. Mariana tries to treat her infection. Mitchell thinks about winning. Day 5. Christopher makes the wooden spear. Alexis steals from Bella while she isn't looking. Samantha overhears Mariana and Matashi talking in the distance. Mitchell throws a knife into Sharpie's chest. Isabella makes the wooden spear. Victor is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Arlette stalks the Hawk. Alexandra discovers a river. Rest in pieces 5. 2 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Eric. District 8. Sharpie. District 4. Night 5. Mitchell thinks about winning. Alexandra tries to sing herself to sleep. Alexis quietly hums. The Hawk, Mariana, and Bella sleep in shifts. Arlette cries herself to sleep. Christopher tends to his wounds. Isabella destroys Matashi's supplies while he is asleep. Victor strangles Samantha with a rope. Day 6. Arlette tries to sleep through the entire day. Mitchell makes the wooden spear. Alexis pushes Matashi off a cliff during a knife fight. Mariana goes hunting. Christopher receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. The Hawk injures himself. Bella defeats Victor in a fight but spares his life. Alexandra collects fruit from a tree. Isabella thinks about home. UHO. A monstrous hurricane wreaks havoc on the arena. Victor survives. Alexandra survives. Christopher survives. Arlette pushes Bella into an incoming boulder. Isabella survives. Mariana is incapacitated by flying debris and dies. Mitchell pushes Alexis into an incoming boulder. The Hawk is incapacitated by flying debris and dies. Sad face with tear. 6 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Samantha. District 6. Matashi. District 9. Bella. District 5. Mariana. District 12. Alexis. District 6. The Hawk. District 3. Knight 6. Isabella severely injures Alexandra and leaves her to die. Arlette receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Christopher questions his sanity. Mitchell and Victor huddle for warmth. Thanksgiving. The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tribute's families. Isabella and Mitchell fight Arlette and Christopher. Arlette and Christopher survive. Victor cannot handle the circumstances and commits suicide. Day 7. Arlette severely injures Christopher but puts him out of his misery. RIP. 5 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Alexandra. District 11. Isabella. District 12. Mitchell. District 7. Victor. District 1. Christopher. District 1. The winner is Arlette. Thanks for watching and or listening.